All right, in this lesson we are hitting multiplying decimals once again, but this time in the form of word problems. So your goal for this lesson is I can multiply decimals from a word problem. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So just like when we did fraction word problems, we need to learn how to identify if it is a multiplication word problem. So what do we look for? Well, first thing we're going to look for is any sort of repeated addition. Is it asking me to do addition multiple times, in which case would multiplication be an easier way to do it. So for example, how much would it be if Jane bought 15 pairs of jeans at $29.99 a pair? So you could actually do $29.99 and add it together 15 times, or you can just do $29.99 times 15. The other thing you can look for is the word product or the word times. So for example, how many times more does Sam weigh? 6.45 times more than her. Or what is the product of 8.3 and 6.18? I just make that up off the top of my head, sorry. So these are words that we want to look for. Now, as with all word problems, they are not created equal, and so sometimes these things are not going to be present, and we need to read through them critically and make sure that we, determine what the operation is. But these are guiding things that we can look for. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we do, though, let's remind ourselves of our annotating rules. We need to do them every single time we see a word problem. We need to read the word problem once. We need to highlight the question in one color, so make sure that you do have your highlighters handy. We need to highlight the words that tell us the operation and draw a picture if it helps. If it's not going to be helpful to you, you can go ahead and omit that step. Omit means that you don't have to do it. But if it is helpful to you, then go ahead and draw the picture. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the way that I've designed these is in a multiple choice fashion, so they look a lot like EOG style questions, so you can sort of see what your multiple choice options will look like. So that's why you have your A, B, and C, and D answer choices there. The bookstore is having a sale on bookmarks. Each bookmark is on sale for 84 cents. Each student in Miss Duke's class decides to buy a bookmark. There are 23 students in Miss Duke's class. How much will the class spend on bookmarks at the bookstore? So let's go ahead and highlight our question. And the question is simply, how much will the class spend on bookmarks at the bookstore? Okay, now what is our operation? So it's saying that the bookmarks are 84 cents and there are 23 students in the class and each student decides to buy a bookmark. And so to me that is signaling some sort of repeated addition. Okay, so I could add 84 cents to itself 23 times, or to simplify things I could just do 84 cents times 23, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do 0.84 times 23. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12. We're going to carry the 1. And then I have 3 times 8, which is 24, plus 1, which is 25. So I'm going to carry that 2 up there. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Now I'm done with the 3, so I'm going to cross it out, and I'm going to put my placeholder right there. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16, so I'm going to carry the 1 and put my 6 down here. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. And then I'm going to add up my next stage of numbers right here. 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 5 is 13, so I'm going to carry that 1 over. 6 plus 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and then I have my lonely little 1 here. Now I can't forget my last step. I need to go back to the original problem and determine how many numbers were after the decimal point. So I have 1 and 2, and then there were no numbers here after the decimal point. So I'm going to go back to the end of the number, and I'm going to go 1 and 2, put my decimal point there, and my final answer is 19.32 with a $sign in the front, and it looks like that is answer choice C. Now, a good strategy with multiple choice questions is always to work out the problem for yourself first, and then see if it matches one of the answer selections. That way you have a pretty good gut instinct that your answer is correct. All right, let's take a look at the next one. 10 members of the science club went to a history museum. It costs $7.25 for each member of the club. If 90 members went to the museum, how much would the total cost be? So I'm going to highlight the question. How much would the total cost be? And then I need to determine what my operation is. So here it looks like $7.25 for each member, and 90 members went to the museum. So again, this looks to me like some repeated addition. I could do $7.25 added to each other 90 times, or I could simply do $7.25 times 90, which is the more efficient way to solve the problem. So 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0, 0 times 7 is 0. So I'm going to cross out the 0, put a 0 placeholder here. 9 times 5 is 45, so I'm going to put the 5 there, carry the 4. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 4 is 22. 9 times 7 is 63, plus 2 is 65. Now I'm going to add them all up. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 5 is 5, 0 plus 2 is 2. Bring down the 5, bring down the 6. Now I need to go back up to my original problem and determine how many numbers I had after the decimal. Looks like I had 1, 2, and no numbers after that decimal. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go 1 and 2. So it looks like I had $652.50, which looks like it matches answer choice B. Okay? All right. Joe pays $1.63 for a cappuccino on days he's running late to work. 1 week he ran late on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. How much did he spend on cappuccinos that week? All right, so let's go ahead and highlight the question. How much did he spend on cappuccinos that week? And then let's determine the operation. So it looks like $1.63 for cappuccinos on days he's running late. He ran late Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. This looks again like repeated addition to me, okay? Because it's 1, 2, 3 days. So I could add $1.63 to itself 3 times, but the more efficient way to do it would be to do 1.63 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. How many numbers are after the decimal point? 1, 2, and there's no decimal point there, so I'm going to go 1, 2. So it looks like he spent $4.89, which matches answer choice D. All right. Dave pays $1.75 for a school lunch on days he doesn't bring his own lunch to school. 1 week he bought a school lunch on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. How much did he spend on school lunches that week? So again, we're going to highlight our question. How much did he spend on school lunches that week? And again, this looks like repeated addition to me. $1.75 on school lunch for days that he doesn't bring his own. And that was Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could do 1.75 plus 1.75 plus 1.75 plus 1.75, or the more efficient way is 1.75 times 4. So 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is going to be 30. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. And then how many numbers are after the decimal in the original problem? 1 and 2, and there's no decimal there. So I'm going to start from the back, 1 and 2, and it looks like the answer is going to be $7, which is answer choice D. All right, last problem. Georgia Perimeter College has about 20,000 students. Gainesville College has 0.2 times as that should say as many students. How many students does Gainesville College have? So let's go ahead and highlight our question. How many students does Gainesville College have? And determine our operation. And right here I see the word times, which tells me that I'm going to have to multiply. So I have 20,000 times 0.2. Okay, and I'm going to have a lot of zeros in this problem, I can tell already. So it's very important that you're lining things up properly so that you don't lose any of those zeros. So 2 times 0 is 0. 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 2 times 2 is 4. Cross this guy out, put a 0 as a placeholder. 0 times 0 is 0. 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 0 times 2 is 0. Now I'm going to add them all up. 0 plus 0 is 0. 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 4 plus 0 is 4. And then 0 plus nothing is 0. Now back to the original problem, how many numbers are after the decimal? Well, there's no decimal here, that's a comma, don't confuse it with a decimal. And there's only one number here after the decimal. So I'm only going to move it over once, okay? Which means it is 4,000.0, because you don't really have a 0 in front of the number, okay? Or just 4,000, which is going to be B, okay? But those, it's very, very important to make sure you have your decimal in the right place, because if you didn't, it'd be very easy to pick A, or also very easy to pick D. But A and D are both wrong. B is the correct answer. All right, that is the end of multiplying decimals with word problems. We will practice loads more in class.